Myths by Kristin Carson. First, I will start off by answering the question of what is a myth? A myth is a story drawn from society's history that has been established through persistent usage. Myths are not always necessarily true or factual. Rather, they are stories passed down through people. Therefore, the story is altered along the years. An example of a popular myth in American society today would be when your mother would tell you not to swim after eating lunch because you could get sick or cramp up. Not every single person who swims after eating will this happen to, but since it has happened to at least someone in our history, the story got passed down and generalized as happening to anyone who eats a meal before swimming. A myth we have discussed so far in class has been the myth of the frontier. We especially have seen the frontier myth expressed in the film Stagecoach. Throughout the entire movie, its main focus is about trying to get across the West while fighting off the attacks of Native Americans. A specific example would be when the natives see the stagecoach from up in the hills and launch their attack, which turns into a shootout. Because of circumstances like this, natives have gotten a certain image of being savages and warriors. A complete white American would be one who can fight off both natives and get through the treacherous terrain of the West. All these ideas are a part of the frontier myth. Therefore, the generalization of the frontier myth has to do with the settlers being heroic and fighting off savages to create their new country. This doesn't mean that all natives are warriors and all white settlers who settled in the West are heroes. It is just a generalized myth that was created because of stories and maybe even rumors that were passed down through history. Another film that has a good example of a myth would be El Norte. In this movie, America is perceived as a highly opportunistic and glorious country with surplus money and jobs. In the movie, the magazine Good Housekeeping really makes the people from Latin America have this certain image of the United States. Although, when the main characters Enrique and Rosa arrive in the US, it is not exactly the same as Good Housekeeping portrays it, or like all the stories they have been told by people in their village. They learn quickly that getting by in America isn't as easy and glorious as they've been told. This is a perfect example of a myth because it shows you how stories can be passed down, but the reality of it is not exactly what people hear. To conclude all the information and stories I have just thrown at you, a myth is pretty much tales that started long ago in history and have been passed down from grandmothers to their grandchildren and so on. You get the point. The story can be altered over time, therefore not making it the complete truth.